We think we know the date for the next big Apple launch event. I'll tell you what we can expect and why that next batch of Apple products may be a little late. Let's get right to the core of this week's Apple News and Rumors. It is looking like Tuesday, March 31st is the date for the next big event. No official word yet from Apple, and we're still a few weeks out from even getting an invite, but German site iPhone Ticker seems fairly certain that this is right. And if Google Translate serves me right, the article says that the news comes directly from sources related to Apple, whatever that means. Regardless of whether or not this is true, however, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to come up with that date based on Apple's history. Apple's last 2 consecutive spring events have been held on the last week of March, putting us right in line with that March 31st prediction. However, because that week does lead into April, I, for one, wouldn't completely rule out the week of March 23rd as well, so we'll see. Either way, we know it's coming soon. Now, as for the products we can expect, the headliner this year seems to be that iPhone SE sequel, Apple's cheaper alternative to the iPhone, which will either be the iPhone SE 2 or the iPhone 9, because apparently it will be an iPhone 8 with a refreshed interior. Although I really liked Stefan Constantine's version, which he posted this week on Twitter. It looks just so nice, a little bit retro with some new tweaks, but it turned out to be fake. iPad Pros are also on the radar with that new iPhone 12-like camera module, new MacBooks with scissor switch keyboards, and a few wildcards in the mix like a fancy over-the-ear Bluetooth headphone, tile tracker competitors named AirTags, and a charging mat, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Question for you guys, of the products I just mentioned, what, if any, are you most excited for and why? You know the drill, we'll be discussing on next week's episode. Now, the report also speculates that the cheaper iPhone will be available as of April 3rd. That's the Friday after the event, but it seems a little bit optimistic considering the latest reports. For weeks, we've been hearing about potential production delays to the iPhone 9 and even the iPhone 12 because of the coronavirus. The latest one from Asian site Nikkei out this week, which references the iPhone 9 specifically. But until now, none of this had been confirmed. Now things have changed a little bit because we just got official word about just how much the virus is costing Apple. The company issued a press release on Monday in which it warned investors that Apple will not hit the March revenue guidance it was expecting for Q2 of this year, although it will still be in the billions. The company's suppliers like Foxconn have been forced to shut down operations in China amidst the crisis. And while they're now starting to reopen, it seems that production isn't ramping up quite as fast as Apple was expecting. This according to the release. Plus, no one's buying iPhones in China right about now, which is a huge market for Apple. The virus already caused the cancellation of Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. This was the biggest phone show of the year, where a bunch of other companies like LG and Huawei were getting ready to showcase all their latest devices. But again, guys, perspective. And at least Apple seems to be sensitive of this. The press release also states that their first priority now and always is the health and safety of their employees, supply chain partners, customers, and the communities in which they operate. They also offered their profound gratitude to those on the front lines of confronting this public health emergency. Apple has also made donations to support the global health response to the virus. Last week I asked you guys what you'd rather see in the next Apple Watch, Touch ID or Face ID. This based on 2 recent patents that the company filed, which seems to imply that one, if not both of these features are coming to the watch, but not anytime soon. And this is what you guys had to say. It seems to be an even split. Antoine says, Touch ID on my Apple Watch would be awesome. Whereas Liel Hadri says, Face ID, way more comfortable. But then Scott Vilhauer says, Touch ID, I don't need another notch on my Apple Watch as well. Now, Face ID does seem to make sense, to me at least, because I'm already glancing at the watch as it is, and you can do it with one hand. However, if it means having a notch on the watch, then just take my fingerprint, please. That concludes this week's episode, but you can catch us every Thursday on CNET and on YouTube. And also, don't forget to ring that bell